Okay, so hopefully you won't ever be in this position, but just in case you have to change a set, we're going to go over the steps to that. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to take the old set out. So why don't you go ahead and disconnect. Okay, then to take this off, because it's sticky, we use some rubbing alcohol, and then you can use a cotton ball, or I just take some paper towel and fold it up and just get some alcohol in there and rub it on there. And what alcohol does is loosens up the stickum that's underneath this. Sometimes this bothers him a little bit because it pulls on his skin when he's taking it off, but he's okay. Just let him do it. Once the alcohol's on it, let him take over there. Now, back over to the pump. The first thing you need to do is take this out. So just, unscrew it counterclockwise and pull it out. Set it aside. Then what we're going to do is we're going to hit Act. And that takes us into our menu. And we're going to scroll down to Prime. Hit Act. And then we're going to scroll down to Rewind. Hit Act. And then it's going to ask, disconnect from body, press Act to rewind. We have already disconnected it, so we're going to press Act. And you'll be able to hear it and look at it, and you can see that the pump mechanism itself is actually moving back. Now we can set this aside for a second and get the next set ready. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a new reservoir and open it up. And we're going to need to get insulin into this reservoir. The first thing to do is put it roughly at 1 full unit plus or minus, and we're going to push some air into this to pressurize the vial itself. This is Novolog. So we push it down in like so, press the air down into it, turn it upside down, give it a little press to help the bubbles get up and out, and then you'll see it start to let back out on its own. And just let it go a little ways. And you'll see a bubble develop. I don't know if we're going to pick it up on the camera or not, but you can see there's a bubble developing over there. And that's okay, but what we need to do is give it a little tap so that the bubble gets up to the top, and then to press the plunger to get all the air back up inside, and pull it down to 1 full unit like so, and then double check around the pump or around the reservoir to make sure that we don't have any bubbles. If you see bubbles, flick it a few times to get the bubbles to go up to the top, push them up and in, and then you can pull the plunger back down if you need to. Once you've got this full of insulin and there's no air bubbles left in it, you can go ahead, flip it back right side up, twist it, and pull it out. Now we've got this ready to rock and roll. Next, the set itself. Okay? Open this up. Undo. Now you can see that this is the tubing that connects to this joint. What we're going to do is we're going to put the reservoir end into that and then twist it clockwise until it clicks. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to depress the plunge a little bit so that we can get just a little bit of insulin, an inch or two up into the tubing. And it'll be very obvious when you do this. You can see it. Okay? Now what we need to do is prime the whole tubing. We want to have all the air out of the tubing so that the very first time we use it, we have an exact amount of insulin that goes in. So we're going to counterclockwise take the plunger out. And now that this is finished rewinding, we could put the new reservoir into the pump. Stick it in, turn it clockwise until it clicks. All right, now we go hit Act again, and it'll say preparing to prime. Make sure it's disconnected and all of that. Now we're going to hold it down, and it will flash disconnect at you, but the big thing is to just hold it down until you see insulin dripping out of here, and this will take a few seconds. You'll notice that on the screen it's starting to count up, and it's just telling you how much insulin it's used. Once you see it starting to drip, you're ready. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put the set into what we call the quick inserter. And all this is a way of pushing this into him very quickly. So you pull it out like this, and then we're going to push the two buttons, and that pushes it down and in. So we take this, and we're just going to put it in, and we're going to push it down a little bit until we get the back of the sticker to run flush along the seat of the quick inserter. And then just remove the tabs. Now don't yet remove this blue piece. But go ahead and pull this down so it's ready. Because now we have to put some skin tack onto him to make sure that this will stay on there for a few days. All right, come here. Open this up. And all this is IV prep, so it's just stuff to help his skin be sticky in preparation for this. All right. Around. So we're just gonna, if we know we're gonna go right about here, and anywhere along the fronts or backs of his love handles or kind of around his belly button, any of that fatty area, that's all good places for it. So we're gonna try to hit right about here. So I'm just gonna gently swirl around, and then I usually kind of blow on it once, so it starts to feel kind of sticky, and then I put a little bit extra on there. Okay, and now we take the quick inserter, make sure that you remove the little blue guard, and you'll see that there's a needle there, and that's okay. So now we put it on, and then we say, are you ready? All right, and then we're going to count to 3, give him a chance to inhale and blow out, and as he's blowing out, push the 2 tabs. All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay, pull that out. Make sure that the sticker around it is firmly planted on his skin all the way around, and then it's all done with that part. Now we're going to hit, it says hit escape if done, so we hit escape, and you'll see that it's highlighted fixed prime. Hit act for that, and it says 0.3. Hit act for that, and this is just to make sure that all the air is now, it's out of the line, and we're going to make sure that all the air is out of the needle, and that the small amount of air that could be around his fat cells around the needle, now those are also filled up with insulin. So any insulin that we push into him, we know is exactly accurate. So now we've done the fixed prime, our screen is blank, the sticker's good, everything's ready. We can hand him his pump, he can put that away, and he's ready to go. All we have to do, clean up the mess. Make sure you put the sharps in an appropriate sharp container. That's up to your local refuse collector. Me, I just make sure it's put away, and I make sure it's safely put into a garbage can. But that's how you do a new set.